I want to be very clear in saying that I want no more refugees in South Africa. Let it be clear that I want no more refugees in this country whatsoever, especially the Somalis.
A group of foreign women in Gqeberha in the Eastern Cape marched to the Department of Home Affairs to express their frustrations over their treatment. The women, mostly from the Somalian community, say the department has done a disservice to them. These women are calling for equal rights, recognition and representation. They say they want to be protected as refugees who have been through adversities in their country. These complainants say they are often arrested for being undocumented, even though the documentation process takes longer than expected. Let's get some reaction.
We should take no refugees, and especially no Somali refugees. Somalia is a terrible place full of crime, warlords, and is run by a government that's a non-government with people who run themselves as tribal chiefs and tribal warlords. We don't want any part of that. These people come into societies and make them worse. They bring their bad habits here, and we don't want any piece of that. They are supporters of terrorism. They are also merchants of death, because they are the ones that have created these fake factories that have poisoned the kids in Soweto now. I don't want Somali refugees in this country, because South Africa is not the country where that should be taking in refugees from Africa or otherwise. We should be taking in the most skilled people only. We should be offering 4 types of visas for people to stay: short-term, medium-term, long-term, and special. Short-term is for people coming here, of course, for a holiday, to visit someone, for a funeral, or for a conference or that sort of thing. Medium-term is someone coming here to work for a little bit, anything 2 years or less. Long-term, someone who's coming here to actually live, buy property, and then work 2 years, 5 years, or more. And then special, when we get someone with a special skill that we want to come into the country to do something, and we can offer them a place here immediately. And that's the sort of thing that can be done within hours if it needs to be, and get that person in here. Those are the only 4 visas we should be offering as South Africa. To have a bunch of Somali refugees here, or any refugees, is something we should move away from. No more refugees for South Africa. We should take ourselves out of that debate. We should take on no refugees. We should offer no refugee visa. You cannot come to South Africa claiming to be a refugee because we just don't care. We're not interested. We cannot accommodate you because we have our own problems. Very vigorous, very long, very chronic, very long-standing problems.
Well, I think South Africa is a movie. We live in a drama. It's a series. Every day you will be shocked by something new. We have even forgotten what shocked us 2 weeks ago. You know, every day.
And we do not have time or space or resources to spend on refugees, because if a refugee comes here, they need somewhere to stay. They're going to be using public services, hospitals, water, electricity. Some of them are criminals. They're going to have to interact with the police. And now they want the whole Home Affairs machinery to accommodate them and to get them some visas. And some of these people have been here on the same visa for 15 years. That's unacceptable.
They are not giving us the correct documentation, and they're hiring people who can't even speak proper English to translate for people who can't speak English. So we're having that miscommunication going on. We told them about it for years, but they don't want to help us. So we came here today to hand in a memorandum that contains all the problems that we are facing, and we hope they receive it from us. Yeah.
That's terrible. That is mismanagement by the South African government, and we cannot allow that sort of thing to linger and to carry on. Because how is a person on a visa for 15 years, they don't have any permanent status, but they're also not kicked out? Kick out every Somali refugee, kick out any other refugee of any other type from any other place, because South Africa should move away from the refugee visa system and take itself out of that regime, and we do not accommodate refugees in South Africa. That should be the law here.
Okay.
Because we do not have the capability of taking care of people with bad habits from bad countries that bring their bad habits here and take over city blocks and whole city strips and turn it into little Mogadishu. We want no part of that, and we don't want those people here. So they come in on these 15-year refugee visas, and then they start building illegal factories that kill South African children. When are we going to learn as South Africa that we can't help every African country? We should move away from the system of taking in refugees. We only take in people who are coming here on a holiday, on a short-term visa. We take in medium-term people who are coming here to look for opportunities or because they are part of creating some sort of opportunity and investment on a short-term sort of employment initiative. Long-term people who are coming here to work because they have a skill that's quite valuable here or they can add something, and most of the time those people are coming in to use their own resources, buying property and that sort of thing here. Or specialized visas for very special people with special skills that we need for a specific reason, maybe to help us with ESCOM or something like that. Not random poor people from every dysfunctional African country that we can find that come here to kill our children with their fake goods. And you know these Ethiopian people are sending out their women to go march there because people have a soft spot for women. No, what I see is refugees, and all those refugees need to go. South Africa should remove itself from the refugee system on the basis of this. This should be our plea. We have such serious problems. We really cannot take any more people on, especially from bad countries that need high levels of help. A reminder that you can get a digital comic book emailed to you every single month when you become a member on our Buy Me a Coffee page. We need to upskill ourselves and have only people coming in that are highly skilled. That should be how we sell it, in whatever wording we use, but that's the approach we should take. Taking on refugees benefits South Africa nothing. Not every Tom, Dick and Harry from a country of pirates. We don't need that. We didn't ask you. We don't want you. We have so many different cultures and diverse languages here already. Adding another one doesn't help us. To build a cohesive society, it helps if you have a shared culture and a shared history. And in South Africa, that's always been our problem for the last 350 years, trying to get all these people with hard heads to agree on something. There are things we can agree upon because we do have some sort of shared history and a shared culture built up over 350 years. We do not need to add these sorts of people from highly dysfunctional countries into our country that has its own problems. With all these different tribes we already have and are trying to build and bring those people together with a shared history over 350 years of shared struggle, shared conflict that we've gone through together and against each other. We've just come out of that and are trying to build a new future. And now these people who have had their countries free since the Second World War, some of them, are coming here for us to help them. They should be helping us because they've had a head start on South Africa. South Africa's only been an open society to all races and all people for 30 years. But these people want to come in now and be a burden on the resources of South Africa. And the most infuriating thing is that they have no humility about it.
And one of your demands is representation in your own community. Can you elaborate a bit on that?
Yes, so we have men who try to represent us as Somalis, but they are not representing us the way we want. We had the councillor's office where we used to get proof of address for free. Now that the men in our community decided to go speak to the councillor's office, and now they're charging us for proof of address. We're having problems at the hospitals just because we are status holders. We're having problems everywhere. Any department of the government, we're having problems just because we are status holders. And some people they are here for like 3 years and they don't have permits because they're getting appointment after appointment and there's no results.
These people are arrogant, they're entitled, and they act like we owe them something. And they look down on South Africans while asking South Africans for help. This is repugnant. These domkorps need to go immediately. There is nothing that South Africa owes these people, and there's nothing we should want to do for them on the level of a refugee. We should be going out into Africa to make deals and to make money, to do business with people and to make money, not to save Africa. You think giving Somali refugees some visas and letting them stay in South Africa is going to help Somalians? It's not. That place is dysfunctional. It needs another level of help. If we're going to help Africans from anywhere, Somalia or otherwise, we should have efforts through organizations like the Gift of the Givers and others in partnership with the South African government and help people over there. If we want to help Zimbabweans, we help them there, where they are, in their country. We'll drop off some food, we'll drive up some trucks, we'll build some schools, we'll set up some businesses, we'll get our businesses that are thriving here to come over there. We'll give you training, we'll send our skilled engineers, our skilled farmers. We need jobs, so we'll send some of our people who need jobs over there. We'll send you doctors. If we're going to help Africa or anywhere else in the world, we say we don't take refugees in South Africa, but if you need help, call us. And if we can, if we're already taking care of our people, we'll send some people over there. Look at what they do with South African firemen. There's a lot of South African firemen that go every year to Canada and other places to help fight big forest fires or big outbreaks of fires. And they go and put out those fires because they are skilled firemen. They come at a good price, and there's a good number of them. They're well-trained, well-organized, and well-run. We now have a course on Teachable. It's for boys between the ages of 10 and 18, about 12 men from the Bible, where we teach about manhood, masculinity, and becoming a man. Check it out. That's how we should be helping people, not by taking them in. If we want to help Somalia, here's what we do. We take some of our best builders, best engineers, best businessmen, and some of our best skilled workers, and we go into Somalia and we take a piece of property with the Somali government, whatever that looks like at the time, and we take over a piece of land, sign a 999-year lease, and then we set up a city over there. A city protected by South African Defence Force that is run by South Africans, where everyone from around the area can come in and work and live. It's a free economic zone set up by South Africa. And if we're going to help countries like Somalia and others, that's how we do it. We do not take those people into our country where they can come in and ruin our place and sell our children poison. No more refugees, 4 visas, short-term, medium-term, long-term, and special. All refugees off the table. And if we're going to help people from other countries, we'll help them over there with humanitarian help, with our own skills, and with a big idea of free economic zones that are little Santons or little Rosebanks in Mogadishu, Addis Ababa, Accra, and anywhere else they would want it. But it's on our conditions, and it's a formal business agreement, and we're going out to help them and build free economic zones for their dysfunctional countries where they can thrive and actually get some money rolling and have economic and skill benefits. That's how the South African government should be thinking. We should not be taking in anybody from Zimbabwe or any other place. People that come in here, they come in legally, and they come in with a good or high level of skill, even specialized, because we want them here, we need them here, and they are a benefit to South Africa. They're not a weight on our resources, our services, and our taxpayers. The people who benefit from that should be South African citizens. Everyone else who is here illegally should be pushed out immediately. No mercy, no arguments, no alibis. Pushed out immediately, and we restart the whole regime of how we deal with immigration in this country. These little Somali strikers should shut up, pack up, and go home. And our legislation for South Africa at the borders should be very simple. We put the fence up, we put the walls up, we put the cameras, we put the drones, and then, very simply, soldiers in position, dogs on the prowl, and guns out. And if you dare to test us, we put you down, because you must be here legally. No more refugees. Somalis out and everyone else. Stop killing our children and go back to your dysfunctional little countries.
Bye, Felicia.
In conclusion, the South African government should move away from having a regime of visas that even recognizes refugees. South Africa should remove themselves and not recognize refugees, and that is not the way we should be dealing with foreigners and any form of immigration. 4 visas only: short-term, medium-term, long-term, and special. That's where it ends. Everyone else, we help you where you are with humanitarian help, with skills and training, or with setting up free economic zones, like I've described. A saying, what one generation tolerates, the next generation will embrace. John Wesley. I recommend we do not embrace illegal Somalis or anyone else who comes here on a refugee status in this country. We should move ourselves away and acknowledge nothing like that. We do not acknowledge refugee status. We want nothing to do with it. Sort out your own country. If you haven't done it already, the problem is with you and not with us. We have our own problems. The case is closed, my friends. Somalis need to leave post-haste and leave us alone and stop murdering our children with their fake poisonous goods. And every other refugee needs to go ace too as well. Let me know what you think, especially if you're from Somalia. Thank you for listening, and if you dare, buy us a coffee.